What was the last time a health expert shared a real results they achieved with you? Not tips, not advice, results. Real, live results. Here, now, I'm going to do something extreme. I'll share with you true stories and true results from the wellness world. These include authentic, unmodified photos and medical documents. And I'll tell you a bit about my story, too. And as I share these stories, let me remind you that I'm not a medical doctor. I'm a metabolic expert and a researcher. Now, let's start. Belly fat. Belly fat is a dangerous type of fat that stifles the liver. This fat produces constantly, all the time, toxins and sends them throughout the body. These hurt your health. Therefore, losing fat, not just weight, is one of the healthiest things you can do for your body today. Yet, this belly fat is the most difficult fat to lose. Much more than just losing weight. And belly fat is even more difficult to lose as we progress in age. Actually, if you're going to ask somebody over age 60, he's going to tell you that it's almost impossible to lose this belly fat. So this client came to me, he was 63. He had this large belly fat that you can see here, 113 centimeters, 45 inches, according to my measurements. Besides the age obstacle that we have here, there was another difficulty to lose belly fat, which is he could not do any exercise. So during our work together, he didn't do even once exercise. Sounds impossible? Nevertheless, these are the photos before and after. Age 63, no exercise. Who knows how many extra healthy years this man achieved because of this reduction of belly fat. Medical biomarkers. Do you know these yearly blood tests that your doctor sends you to take? These tests, these medical biomarkers, they can save your life. Now, there are many types of biomarkers in those tests. Yet, there are three key blood tests that your doctor is mostly concerned with. These have the strongest influence on your risk of diseases and of your health. And they truly tell how healthy you are. These are blood sugar, glucose tests, fat in the blood called triglycerides, and cholesterol. However, these tests are very difficult to change naturally, drug-free. So how do you reduce your risk of diseases and improve those tests before you become sick, drug-dependent? A male client came to me in his 40s, and he was worried about his medical biomarkers for that exact reason. And because of that, he took blood tests before we met. These are the tests. Pay attention to glucose, triglycerides, and cholesterol. Now, these were his new results exactly 6 weeks after working together. As you can see, there is a 21% improvement in blood sugar, 23% improvement in blood fat, and normalization of cholesterol to 200 in just several weeks. No drugs and without an exercise program. Any doctor will tell you these indicate tremendous improvement in a short time. Muscle mass. Have you ever wanted to gain some nice real muscle mass? Getting ripped and fit? If you tried it, you know it's not easy, and it's a slow process. And as we age, getting muscle mass becomes even more difficult. Our body doesn't respond to building muscle mass easily. Why? Because after our 20s, our muscle gaining hormones go down. And when I was 32, I wanted to play European football. But because of my injury, the only way I could try to play football is developing a nice, good muscle mass. But I had two obstacles. One is I only had 4 weeks to focus on that and to get into shape. The second was I wasn't no longer in my 20s. So how much can I gain? If you ask most gym trainers, they'll tell you something between 0 to half a pound for 4 weeks. And I'm not going to lie, I was too hesitant. Am I too old to gain muscle mass? Could I ever play football again? Could I feel strong again? Now, this is my photo of myself before I started the experiment. As you can see, I don't have some special genes to build muscle mass. I'm just skinny. This photo is after 4 weeks. No pumping myself after exercise on purpose. How much did I gain in 4 weeks? My net muscles, meaning without fat, grew by 8 pounds or 3.72 kilograms in just 4 weeks. Gaining that much in 4 weeks at age 32 is not only difficult, but it's also virtually impossible. If you wonder, I didn't use steroids or growth hormone injections. I care about my health first. And if I can do that, you can do that too. You can gain muscle mass in a short amount of time with the proper metabolic protocol. Weak bones. We covered muscles. What about our bones? As we age, we don't just lose our muscles. We also lose our bones. This graph shows bone loss with age. As you can see, whether we are diagnosed with some bone condition or not, we all lose bone mass over time. That's why we all lose height with age. As we lose our bones, we shrink. At some point, we lose so much of our bones that it becomes a dangerous condition called osteopenia and then osteoporosis. And if that continues, then this bone loss becomes a life threat. These bones break easily and never recover. In fact, it could lead to death. Let me quote from this study. Some reports show that up to 50% of patients with a hip fracture die within 6 months, and many of those who survive do not recover their baseline independence and function. That happened in my family too. A female client in her mid-60s came to me, and for more than a decade, according to her bone scans, her bones get weaker and hollower. She has done everything right. She took bone-building drugs, calcium supplements, and had been doing bone-building exercises. So you can understand how frustrating it was for her. Now, these are the original scan results before we worked together and after. It's 2 years in between those original dates. It takes time to build bones. On the right, you can see the date of the scan and the original bone scan results before she came to me and after. The doctors compare her bones to the time when she was at age 30, which is supposed to be 0. Minus means deterioration away from healthy bones she had at age 30. So in essence, this improvement in 21% back to the bones she had at age 30. Remarkably, at age 65, her bone's density and strength increased by 21%. Both the hip and the neck, which represents the spine. Toothache, gum disease, and dental problems. Your teeth matter. They matter to your looks, and they matter to your health. If you have gum disease, it increases heart disease. This study examined this, and I'm quoting, "Several studies found periodontal disease to be independently associated with their increased risk of cardiovascular disease." Why? Gum disease gives a great number of bacteria in your mouth a direct access to your blood. If that wasn't enough, teeth issues matter to your pocket too, as you know. Dental costs are usually not covered in most people's health insurance. And most of us in our lifetime pay tens of thousands of dollars in our lifetime for doing dental treatments. And gum disease and toothaches are one of the greatest pains that we have, and they are urgent pain with no way to reduce them immediately. Yet, it's common knowledge that there is nothing that we can do. This is life. Life comes with dental pain and gum disease. It says in the Bible. Personally, I didn't have good genes for dental health. My father lost all his teeth by the age of 50, and he used false teeth instead, which, by the way, you cannot chew a steak with. And my mother, all her life, had chronic, never-ending expensive dental treatments, and I remember the pain that it caused to her every time after she returned from a treatment. And my time arrived too. When I was 18, I went to a dentist checkup, and at the end, it handed me a paper with numbers. It was an offer for a treatment plan for each of the 7 cavities he found, plus a potential for a root canal treatment. It seems that maturity of age comes with dental problems and costs. I was a bit curious. That how it's supposed to be? Am I sentenced to a life of dental issues, pain, and expenses just like my parents? I decided to make some research before starting the treatment plan the dentists offered me. And I found through my research that a life of dental problems is not something that I have to accept. In my next checkup, I reversed 6 out of the 7 cavities. Most importantly, I continue to implement the habits I learned. And in almost 20 years since, I didn't have new cavities or gum disease. My teeth stayed healthy, verified by dentist visits and x-rays, like you can see here. In the last 20 years, I've been a dentist-free person, according to the date of recording this video, because you never know what could happen in the future. I may have false teeth tomorrow, just like my father. And if you think for a moment that I have a special mouth of some sort, my wife has been applying the same principle, and she neither needs the dentist. Neither of us had any dental issues since we met. Maybe it is just love. Or that you can duplicate that too. And who knows how much money, pain, and time I have saved over the last 20 years. At this point you may ask, how did I get into that, all those areas? My answer, I have the benefit of pain. This pain led me to research all of these areas. The benefit of pain, you may ask? Well, in my youth, I lost my health. For 5 years, I went through 12 surgeries and operations and spent months in the hospitals. I know the hell of bad health. Luckily, it didn't come at the end of my life, unlike what happens usually in most people's lives. Our health is so vulnerable. It could change in the blink of an eye. I know that all too well. And it's the suffering in my own life that drives me to not let anybody else suffer the hell of bad health that I can possibly do something about it. I know how it feels like, and I don't want anyone to feel that way. Everybody has their thing. This is my thing. My wife experiences chronic pain all over her body. You can imagine how difficult it is for me to see her in this situation. As I researched for better therapies, we found one in London and had to relocate from Israel to London to continue with the therapy. As you can tell, English is not my mother tongue. After studying chemistry and biochemistry, I created my own curriculum of combining the next 4 sources: studying the work of highly successful doctors, researching medical studies and thinking about them. The thinking part matters, by the way, and working with clients, similar to the ones I showed you today. And 4th, experimenting on myself, doing things to promote my health and measure everything. Because I can't help others if I can't help myself first. I walk the talk. And I need the self-experiments to feel what different things do to my own body and test them on myself and getting clear feedback from my body. As Einstein said, information is not knowledge. The only source of knowledge is experience. You need experience to gain wisdom. In my journey, I discovered something that amazed me. When I recovered, I realized not only the hell of bad health, but also the heaven of good health. Even if you're healthy, you can uplift your current health to much higher level and squeeze so much joy and bliss out of it. 99% of people never experience that. What does a higher level mean to you? More vitality, more energy, better looks, better mood, stronger resistance to stress, better focus and concentration, better productivity, the feeling of bliss and less fear. Your health could influence that. This is true wellness. Thanks to this relentless research backed by pain, I understand the synergy inside the body, how everything we do interacts. Because everything is connected. Every habit, every supplement, every food, every exercise you're doing, everything is connected. And I know too that both you and I cannot implement 1,000 habits. You need simple things to follow. That's how I created the guides in this channel, with synergy, practicality, and simplicity. So I'm not a doctor. I'm not Dr. Rimon, but if I were one, I would not have become who I am today. And this channel wouldn't be the wellness messiah. So I invite you to join me in the path of avoiding the hell of bad health and squeezing as much as happiness as possible from your body right now. And for that, I need your help to reach others too. Share my message with the world.